Well, hello there. I'm just quickly doing a sound check. Is the sound okay? If anybody's out there, well, Liam, you can just let me know if the sound's okay. Cool. Um, I'm wondering about my internet, yeah, because it has been just like crashing the whole time. So I'm hoping that is not the case. We'll see just now. Seems to be holding steady for now, but obviously I'm not, there's nothing on the screen yet, so it should be perfectly fine. It doesn't have to deal with anything. Yeah, I would love to do the NSPCL thing. Like I said, we've been talking about having different times and stuff like that, so that players can choose those different times, and then obviously they will get broadcasted on those specific times. So if we need different players from different teams and stuff playing at the same times. So yeah, that would be a lovely thing, of course. Like same with the Untitled Tuesday, that would be a great thing to do as well. Okay, I'm gonna just close this. So yeah, so now I'll be talking and not chatting. Says okay, let's go to tactics. Okay, we just see if everything fits in perfectly before I go in transition here. Should be okay. Ugh, my tactics rating has dropped, plummeted. It is I. It is I say. Hey, you've got. Okay, let me just quickly. Okay, just transition here. There we go. Now you can see me. Okay, so yeah, it's Lono Druid. Yeah, hello. Yeah, maybe it doesn't sound like me just because I have better sound equipment now. So now you can maybe hear my actual voice and not like some screwed up version thereof, you know? Because remember, I mean, the mic I had previously wasn't very great. So yeah, so suddenly obviously I'll sound a bit different. Yeah, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so what we will, so what we're doing obviously in this is, let me just make sure everything looks okay. So obviously what I do here is I literally just do tactics. The objective of these tactics is to make sure that you get them right. One thing I found with tactics trainers is that if you get the puzzle correct, you cannot lose rating. You obviously don't necessarily win rating if you take too long, but it's more important not to lose rating than it is to get them quickly. Because if you screw it up, obviously, when you try and get it quickly, you lose rating much quicker than you actually gain rating when you do get them quickly as well. So let's just get started here. So I do try and explain as well what tactics obviously happened and or occurred. I smell a mate in here somewhere. Looks like something like knight d6 suddenly jumps out because there is attempted mate threats with taking on c8. So yeah, hey Walid. So there is that. There is stuff like that to look at, but I mean he doesn't have to take. So obviously we want to look at something a bit more logical. Okay, so immediately the quickest thing that pops out to me is that the knight on e5 is hanging, so if I just play h4, there's no way to defend the knight, so I can just take it. So that was a really simple puzzle, okay? I mean, I just spotted it immediately, obviously. But the point is, I wanted to make sure that there was nothing more, in the position. Because a lot of the times we can, we find something, but there can be more. So here, I'm just going to redo that puzzle again, just so you can see. So the knight on e5, unfortunately here I can't highlight, which is a little bit stupid. I am going to talk to chess.com about this as well. If they can just include, obviously, making arrows and highlight squares on the tactics board as well would be great. Okay, so obviously here my knight is attacking his knight, and the only thing defending the knight is the queen. So by playing h4, we use a simple deflection. Okay, a deflection in this specific case just means that we want to deflect the queen away from defending the knight. We don't care where the queen goes, as long as it's not protecting the knight anymore, then it's perfect for us. So there we go. See what's next. So that was an easy one to get us started. Here I smell a mate somewhere. Feels like there should be a mate here somewhere. There is a lot of tactics jumping to mind here. Now, I don't want him to run away, so something like rook g8 looks like a great idea, because of course now rook g5 would be mate. If he plays rook g6, then we can play rook f8 check, in which case he will get mated anyway. Sorry about that. So rook g8 looks devastating, because how does he stop us from mating him on g5? His king can't go anywhere, he can't block, so rook g8 is the obvious move. Yeah, he has to block now, and then rook f8 finishes the mate. Check, and of course rook f6, and we just take it as well. So, if you play rook f8 immediately, Walid, then he runs out with king g6. So I'm going to go back for you, just so you can see it. So if you go rook f8 now, then the king has the g6 square to run to. Okay, and then he's still okay. I mean, of course, you are going to win material. Don't get me wrong. You're going to probably win a pawn, maybe two. So yes, that is good. But of course, the checkmate is much better, isn't it? And the checkmate with the rook g8 is definitely, you know, it's a fact. It's going to be checkmate. So again, it's easy to see how you can win material, but of course, mate is much better than winning material. So now, of course, I have to just do that again real quick. Otherwise, I, well, obviously have the puzzle wrong, and we never got it wrong. We got it right. So, okay, let's continue. So, it feels like there should be a mate here somewhere. I was seeing no running route, down route, but did not see the g6 square. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Well, now you saw it. Yeah. So, again, here, I feel like there should be like some sort of mate attempt here, but of course the queen is hanging. Do we have... Okay, so the idea here is just that if we take... Okay, if we take on e4... on e5, sorry. Do we have anything after that? Doesn't look like it, does it? We might have some move like bishop g6. But I suspect that that will not be enough. Because of course he can't play rook or f takes e5 because we take his queen. So the idea was just to obviously get rid of the bishop defending the queen. Hello, beyond someone. Unfortunately, the little chat box that I have open is on my screen now, so I can see everything, which is great. But yeah, like I said, rook takes e5, then queen takes e5, and I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that that is clear cut, because he has this queen e1, queen e5 check nonsense as well. So I'm not so sure about that. Very, very interesting. I mean, obviously queen h8 check looks obvious, but you see now, this is like the typical puzzle. You don't just want to make a move, because if you get it wrong, you lose rating, okay? If you get it right, even if we take 20 minutes to get it right, you don't lose rating. So again, if you want to climb rating in the tactics puzzle thing, then make sure you get them right, okay? And of course, it's better for your chess anyway as well, to get them right as well. So it's a double thing, you know? Like, focus on getting them correct more than getting them quickly. Yeah, but your queen's hanging, eh? The queen is being attacked on h7, Yubka. So you can't just play bishop c4, because he is attacking our queen on h7. Which is why I'm trying to find a move for the queen. Yeah. Thank you, Beyond. Okay, and if we go check on h8, then obviously after the king moves, our queen will also be hanging. So. There's no funny tactics here anywhere. No, not yet. I mean, rook takes e5 is the only forcing move, but again, after queen takes, I don't see anything. I do not see anything. Check, no. No, and no. Well, I'm not sure that rook takes e5 works, because after queen takes, what do you actually have? I almost feel like there might be something deep, but then we have to go very deep. So rook takes e5, queen takes e5, what, bishop g6? You know, yeah, but of course he's not going to go king f7. He's going to go king e7 beyond. Queen h5. What would be the purpose? Queen h5 doesn't do anything currently anyway. Yeah, but the same thing. Queen takes, and then what do you got? You've got nothing. Your queen is hanging, so yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Queen h8 check, king e7. Again, rook takes, then queen takes. Perfectly safe for black. If queen g7, king d8. Now the king also defends the queen. So the fact here is that it looks like it should have something to do with the queen being defended by the bishop only. I'm just trying to see if bishop g6 does anything in the end of this variation. Bishop g6, queen e1 check. Queen e1 check, king. Maybe it does work because maybe he can't get out of the mate. Maybe he cannot get out of the mate. Check, king goes there. Well, what if queen takes c7? Bishop takes, and then what have you got? Absolutely nothing. Still equal. So that's not going to work. That's another thing, by the way. If you're looking at a puzzle, by the way, sometimes it's easy also to figure out that you need to win material based on what the current material count is. And right now, the material count is equal. So we definitely want to step away here with at least a pawn at the end of any of this. Because then, of course, we have winning chances. So, so I suspect we want to win war. I suspect we want to mate, but I just want to see how. Yeah, but your queen, yeah, I forgot the queen, exactly. Yeah, so the problem with h8 is that after king e7, the queen is hanging on h8, yes. So again, you know, it's not, the answer doesn't jump out as obvious, so that's why I'm taking my time here. I'd much rather take my time here. Because again, I'd much rather get it right than get it wrong. I just saw something that became interesting to me, but it is a bit slow as well. Well, queen h6, queen g7, is that okay? Because then, you know, I'm just attacking your queen. You have no more checks after queen h6 as well, so it just doesn't seem to do anything. Well, it doesn't do anything. You don't threaten anything after queen g7. Because, of course, your queen is hanging as well. So queen h6 doesn't do anything. Literally doesn't do anything for your position. See, I'm just looking at the option of the following, okay? So this is what I'm looking at. Maybe it is okay. Maybe, oh, okay. I think I see it now. Okay, so if we do play rook takes e5, queen takes e5, bishop g6, okay? Threatening mate on f7, okay? And threatening the rook, okay? Now, the only way to defend this is to, you can't play rook e7 because queen h8 is mate. Can't play queen e7 as mate. So if queen e8, then we still check. So yes, so rook takes e5. My first initial move was correct. Now, of course, we just have the intermezzo. Now, I would like to go and show the other variation if I can. I will show it. So, as you can see, we took a very long time, okay? And I still got 1 rating for it because I got it correctly. It's much more important to do it correctly, okay? But let me just show you the variation, actually. So, after, because now it's not going to let me do the other variations, is it? This is what I don't like about this tactics trainer as well. Is I want to see, oh, wait. What I can do is, sorry, let me just do it again real quick, and then I'll show you guys. I think you can look at the solutions then. Sorry, let me just go quickly here. I don't want to analyze, so how can I, can I not even look at tag settings, select mode? See, because I don't want to change the setting now, but anyway, okay. So the idea was, let me just do it real quick again. Yeah, but if I do the analysis board, Liam Chess, then I have to change the size and everything of OBS, and it's a mess. Okay, but I can just show the variation. Rook takes e5. If queen takes e5, bishop g6, with the threats of queen f7 mate and the rook is hanging. Now, the only way to stop mate would appear to be queen e6, and then after queen h8, we obviously just win the rook on g8, on e8. If queen goes to g8, then we take first, take, and we also take on e8 because the king doesn't defend the rook anymore. So we end up being a bishop. Okay, so cool. Let me just do it real quick. I don't understand why they take the easy variation, but anyway. Okay, next. Let's do the next one. Okay, so here, okay, the bishop is trapped. It's important to note that. We do, however, ooh, dirty things are going through my mind right now. Okay, bishop f6 ideas are in the air. Okay, first of all, there are also, this is dirty. Now, of course, our queen is hanging right now. So in case anybody didn't notice that, the queen is hanging on, yeah, but knight takes c6 if he takes out queen. So now you have to calculate this variation, you know? Well, queen takes and then knight takes is what I suspect might be the problem. Because then he has even more defenders on that square. Now, you also have to note the material. Once again, let's look at the material, okay? What is the current material count? Black is up a pawn. So if we win any material in the end of this variation, we're fine. So, sorry. A move like queen takes d3, pawn takes d3, and knight takes f2 just wins an exchange. Except the bishop on a2 gets lost as well. So we end up losing a couple of pieces for a rook and a couple of pawns. Important. Again, the queen is hanging. So in every single variation, we have to be careful of the queen hanging as well. But you might have a point there. Bishop takes b3 looks very interesting. Okay, why? If the bishop takes, then we obviously have ideas of queen c3 check. Definitely possible. So after takes, queen c3 check, king goes to b1. Then what? Do we have a finishing blow? I guess we could play rook takes, b3 check, king, 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 king. But again, you have to make sure of all the moves. No. Bishop takes b3 is not a bad idea. Okay, it's not a bad idea. Of course, our queen is hanging, so we have to look at that variation as well. Okay. Now, if we look at the variation cleverly, okay, we will have a discovered check, so we can technically win the queen back. Yes. So if bishop takes b3 and he plays queen takes a6, we have quite a few options here. Most likely seeming to be just the simple bishop c4 check, winning the queen back. Okay, and we are gonna be up some material, are we not? No, you can take. No, we won't be up any material because you can. No, but it's a discover check. Sorry, it's a discover check. So yes, so that is fine. So bishop takes b3 is an interesting move. Very interesting move. Yeah, we can. Bishop c4. Check. So discover check, and of course the queen is hanging. But if he plays knight b5, I feel like there is now other checks suddenly coming into play here. So he's going to be extremely careful. But you're alright. But I don't think there's a mate. Because if we, let's say what, play bishop takes a4 check instead, then he's going to have to move his king, okay? But the king can just go to something like a2 possibly. I'm not sure. This is interesting. Very, very interesting. Actually, now you're stumbling upon the right plan possibly. Your bishop takes b3 idea was interesting, but what if we play rook takes b3 immediately? Now we know he can't play pawn takes, and we know he can't play bishop takes, because if a bishop takes and he gets mated with queen a3, bishop takes b3, and. Okay, so that's cool. Yes, of course they're hard tactics, Liam, because my rating is 2500 plus. So yes, these are hard tactics. So rook takes b3, but now what if he plays... No, if he plays king takes a2, then we play rook take, knight takes c3, and then queen takes a4 is a threat. Yeah, and yeah. Yeah, this looks devastating. So rook takes b3 looks beautiful. Rook takes b3. Is there any running away options here? I don't see it. I don't see him running away here. King a3 is not... king a1, I guess, is a possibility. Most definitely a possibility. Okay, you know... Okay, let's just do one final... We have to look at if the king runs. So if rook takes b3 and the king goes to a1, let's say. Yeah, let's say a1. Then we could... What do we play then? Is the good question. So, what do we play? Not an easy one. So if king a1, that is the only thing we haven't solved. And this is why I say you want to look at every variation, because if you miss a variation and the guy can get out, then it means that your move was incorrect. So you always have to look at the best moves. They were talking about this yesterday as well, is that even if your opponent doesn't see a specific move, doesn't mean that you can count on him not seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, rook takes c3, but our queen is still hanging. Just need to note that. Our queen is still hanging. I suspect rather that we could maybe play... Yeah, exactly. The queen is hanging, yeah. What if we play queen... What if we just play queen takes queen, rook takes... No, I still don't like it. Because everything is hanging. Remember this, guys. Everything is hanging. So after rook takes b3, king a1. That was the only real question we had. If we can solve that question, then we solve the puzzle. Now we do have a move like queen takes a4. If knight takes a4, then rook takes d3. Pawn takes d3. Now the problem is just our bishop is hanging still. And we did lose material in this variation as well. So we can play, obviously, knight takes f2 and win a rook back. We are going to lose the piece on a2 still. So it's messy. It's very, very messy. Very, very ugly. Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, it's easy to give up, and that's the problem. Especially when you can't move the pieces. You see, it's much easier if you could move the pieces. I'm not completely convinced if rook takes b3 works. Not completely convinced. Now, there is another thing to take in consideration. Yeah, this is not easy. I mean, rook takes a3 looks so... rook takes b3 looks so beautiful. It does look stunning. But it's not necessarily correct. Okay, Liam Ches, wow us with some moves. Well, how do you sacrifice your dark bishop? Because if you play bishop a3, I suspect he can just play king takes a2 and not on a3 instead. I know rook takes b3 seems... I actually, you know what? There's about a 95% chance that rook takes b3 is the correct move. But we haven't found all the variations to make sure that it's correct. You see, I mean, a simple move like queen d6 could be a good move. But I don't know if it's enough. Maybe he just takes on a2. Hello. Thank you. For whoever followed, thank you. Okay. I'm gonna gamble. Okay, and this is now the problem. We're gonna gamble rook takes b3. And you see, but this is what I really hate. Now the puzzle is done. That's it. One move. All they want is the first move, and then you get the points. But it's retarded because there's so much to look at here. You know, I don't like. This is one thing that I would love to talk to Danny about, because this is bullshit. Okay, it's fucking bullshit. You can't just make one move and that's now the correct answer. I mean, come on, guys. He can play king takes a2. He can play king a1. He can play. You know, there's so many variations that he can play, and we don't even have to go through it. That's absolute bullshit. Now I wonder. I don't want to click on the analysis board. So if somebody wants to save this one, you know what I can do is I can save the PGN. Can I not? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna save the PGN here. I'm just gonna copy it and keep it on the clipboard, and then I will have a look at it later. Okay. So we'll move on to the next one. That was not a friggin' crock of shit, but okay. Okay, so there is a definite mate idea here if we can trap the king. So the idea would be, what, rook g1 with g4? Is there any way to stop that? Is there? Oh, you know what? Yes, there is. There is h3 idea. So maybe we could just play g4, and then after the move king g2, we play rook e to e1, and then there is an obvious mate on g1. We play something like h3 or h4. We still have a mate because we go rook g, rook h, rook, and the other rook goes to g1 mate. Okay. And he cannot play f3 or f4 because we just made immediately with rook d2. Now he will have a couple of checks, so let's just have a look at those. Check, king goes up, check, king goes to h5. Seems fairly simple. So there we go. Check, rook e1. I suspect that that'll just be the end of the puzzle, yeah. So you can see that the king cannot get out, okay? The king can unfortunately not go anywhere. It looks like the broadcast just tanked massively. Am I right? Am I still live? Am I still alive? Some odd reason this thing is going nuts. Anyone still there? Hello? Okay, you can hear me at least. That's I guess that's a small bonus. Huh, I'm just trying to see why this thing just tanked. Okay, well, anyway. Yeah, exactly. No, but I saw it. It should be okay now again, because it looks like it's perfectly fine. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Okay, but as you guys can see, there's no way to stop the mate on the back rank here. Okay, we're just going to go G1, H1, and mate. Okay. Hey, in the face. Hello, in the face. Okay, let's do another. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so black is threatening to go knight f2 check. So if you take his queen, he goes check, he takes, and it's equal in the end? No, black's actually a pawn up in the end. And the d4 pawn is hanging as well. I'm not sure about that one, Yubko, because I can see that this thing is tanking. And this is just because of the internet. Everything is fine except for the freaking internet. Queen takes g4. It looks logical, doesn't it? Because his queen is still trapped, isn't it? So yeah, I mean that could be a really, really easy one, yeah. So queen takes g4, is that really as easy as it's gonna come? Because his queen is still trapped. That's funny. Yeah, so okay, but he can play queen g6 after that in the face. Remember, we are down material. We are down a pawn currently and a piece. So of course, if he can save his queen, then he is fine. So queen takes g4, but queen g6 I don't like. Maybe he can survive. Maybe not. Maybe he cannot survive. Maybe we do have a lot of tactics on g7, possibly even. So rook g5 after that. Maybe queen e6 happens. It seems like he should be okay. And this is what I'm trying to explain as well in the face, is that once you establish the material difference as well. Yeah, but again, you won't get time to triple, of course, because, well, maybe. But, I mean, do you really have time to triple? Yeah, maybe that's a better idea, Walid. You're quite right with that. Maybe we can just go back queen g h3, but then f6, let's say. Yeah, triple. He wanted to go queen takes g4, rook g5, and rook g1. So triple the major pieces on the g file. That's what he meant with that. It's actually called an Alekhine gun, is it not? Well, no, the Alekhine gun is when the queen is in the back, I think. Anyway, semantics. Queen takes g3, queen g, queen h3, and f6. No mates, nothing like that. So again, I feel like he is escaping, and I don't want him to escape. Bastardo. So what if we play something simple like just rook f1? Why don't we just stop the threat? Because his queen is still hanging and we're still threatening mate. You see? So we're overthinking things. I mean, queen takes g4 looks aggressive quickly. But why don't we just stop his only threat, because his queen is hanging and we're threatening mate. But he can play knight h6. Son of a... Yep. No, I saw it. This is quite annoying, isn't it? Okay. So knight h6. I'm listening. If he goes to f6, then what? Can he not just play g6? In the face. I mean, if he just plays g6 after that whole variation, he's still up a pawn. We have to mention that the d4 pawn is still hanging. Yeah, well, what else is he gonna play? g6 is the only move. Nothing wrong with g6. What's wrong with g6? You can go ahead and sacrifice everything on the planet if you really want. I don't see how that's gonna help you, really. Because queen g7 is even an option as well. He even has bishop takes d4, because now the bishop also works on the long diagonal as well, the dark square diagonal. So you have to be careful. You can't just do whatever you feel like. I mean, queen g4 looks like the obvious logical move, but somehow I feel that it is not the move. Ah, you see, Walid, you might have had a point there. Okay, and it's a little bit funky, but after queen g5, what do you have in the face? After rook f5, I go queen g7, holding, and then bishop takes d4 is a problem, because then it also helps that whole diagonal. You see, now I'm threatening on f5, I'm threatening on d4, your whole position's falling apart. You look great, but you don't. Walid, on the other hand, might have had an interesting idea. If we go queen takes g4, queen g6, queen h3 again, If he goes f6, we can play rook g1. Because now queen f7, then he mates himself. Oh, you want to go bishop rook f5? But I mean, what are you really doing? You're not really doing anything, are you? What if I play? If you play rook f5, what if I play queen takes d4? I mean, you don't have anything concrete. You know what I mean? But again, let me again mention Walid's idea. So he said queen takes g4, queen g6, queen h3. I said f6 maybe, but maybe f6 doesn't work. Because if f6 gets played, rook g1, and the queen is trapped. Yes, d4 is the problem. So Walid, so what do you think about that variation? Queen takes g4, queen g6, queen h3, threatening mate. The only way to stop the mate is to play f6. Maybe f5. I don't know if f5 is really an option either. Yeah, maybe f5. But, I mean, that looks terrible. That looks atrocious. So, and f6, then rook g1 traps the queen. f5, on the other hand, what then? Do we just take it? Again, one wants to make sure about all the variation. It's okay, Walid. I get the feeling we're going to play it soon. Okay, I like it. Let's see, queen h3. That's correct, yes. Okay, but now, of course, unfortunately, they don't show us. So, okay, so Walid, now the idea is, what does black play? Okay? Yeah, so f5 is the only move that he can play now. But I suspect we just take it. Pawn takes f5, attacking the queen. Remember, now we win the pawn back, and of course we can get the other rook into this fight as well. f6 doesn't work here, Walid, because of rook g1, trapping the queen. Queen actually has nowhere to go. If it goes to f7, then he gets mated on h8. So that is why I liked your variation, because I said f6 stops everything, but f6 doesn't work. Yeah, of course, and knight covers e4. So if f5, we just take it, I assume, then what? He'd has to play queen f6. Yes, he has to play queen f6. Oh, you see, then maybe we have rook g1 ideas. With rook check, with sacrifices on g7, it starts to get quite nasty. Yeah, you're right. Maybe rook f1 immediately. Yes, you're right. You are definitely correct there, Walid. Yeah. So if f5, we still play rook g1. It's the same thing. If queen f6, we can even play. Can we play rook takes f5, attacking the queen again? With all kinds of mate ideas on g7. g7 becomes our next target. Actually, after queen f6, we can maybe even just play rook h7. It's gonna become very hard for him to defend this the whole time. I like it a lot. So yes, okay. But that was the end of the puzzle, by the way. After queen h3, it's done. So good job. Very well played. It's time. We not, take forever here. Very nice idea, Walid. Very nice idea. Maybe for the wrong reasons, but we still got there, didn't we? Okay, so quick look at material says the black is up a pawn. That is no wait, actually black is up a pawn and an exchange as well. No, so yeah, and an exchange. That makes a huge difference, which means that we have to win a lot of material. Okay, so of course we could just win the piece, or do we? He wants to play bishop b5, bishop b7 if we take on f6. That is the game plan for him. That's what he wants to do. Now, we could maybe just play knight e4 in that instance. No, then he just takes it. And if we take back, he takes back on f6. So that is the sneaky idea. Did I just tank completely or no? Okay. So as you can see, the idea here is to play bishop b7. That is what black wants. Oh, we could just take on a8. I'm just saying. Now let's look at the variation, because of course there's some, sort of like, obviously has a trapping idea, but it doesn't necessarily work because of bishop e3. Wait, what? Yeah, bishop e3 if he just goes queen b7 maybe? Attacking your queen, of course. I suspect we can just play queen takes a8 though. We can just win the rook. If he goes rook b7, then we go bishop e3. Because if he takes the bishop first, we take the rook check and then we take. If he moves, we can just play queen a7. So that seems to be the obvious answer. There we go, bishop e3. And we are correct, sir. Get out. Okay. So there you go. That was just a case of realizing that he actually cannot trap your queen because you can get your queen out. That's all. Okay, who's next? Who's next? Who's next? So we've been climbing. We're up about 30 rating points so far because we've gotten every single one correct, which is much more important, like I have stated before. Now, we do have some cool mating ideas here, obviously, with bishop a5 check. Is there anything direct here? Rook takes b7. Not quite. Darn it. Bishop f4, yes, we win material. But okay, let's again look at the material. So we are down a whole piece here. We are down a whole piece, which is important. We are going to win a rook, though. No, if he goes queen f6, then we will lose the bishop on f7. But there is still mating ideas, so you might be right. Does he have any intermezzos or counter moves against the idea of bishop f4? So again, bishop f4 looks like the obvious move, but we have to look at the end of the variation. Are we actually up any material? That's why having a good idea of what the material count is at the start is very important. Yeah, 3 points, Yubka. A bishop and a knight are both worth 3 points, yeah. So bishop c4, yeah, you are right. There is a mating threat, yes. That's quite evil, actually. Disgustingly so. Now, obviously, I assume that the only move that we needed to try and look at then is rook c8. But it doesn't matter because you win a queen and then you get the rook back. And then what's the material like? Then we are up an exchange, but down a couple of pawns. So it's not necessarily... Okay, but the rook's hanging on h8 maybe as well. So okay, so bishop f3, rook c8. Takes the queen, takes our... Okay, we can move our queen, of course, as well. But then there's no more mate threat. See, again, I mean, in the face, I mean, in the end of that variation, what are we really up? We are up an exchange, but he has got 2 pawns for it. So technically it's equal. Is that really enough? I mean, this position looks delicious. Is that really enough? So this is the kind of stuff that you have to look at. Because, if we don't end up actually being anything up in the end, then is it really enough? I mean, my idea was to play queen takes c8, rook c8, queen takes c8. Yeah, takes, looks good. b7 hanging. No, but if I play bishop... Wait, what? Bishop f8, rook c8, queen takes c8, then bishop takes c8. And if you take back now, I play, let's say, knight f6. Everything is fine. Nothing. You're actually completely equal. Actually, I still like black's position after all that. And this is why I say this is not necessarily that easy. We'd love to think so, but it's not necessarily the case. Again, I think he can sacrifice back as well. Maybe we could just move our queen though after that variation. But then there's no more mate threat, is there? Exactly, that looks a bit better. I do prefer that variation that you are giving now. Just trying to see if there's anything sneaky you can play. See, that variation is much better. See, queen d2 is much better, but you see, we have to be active about this. No, but queen d2 runs into rook to queen c3. Sorry, queen c3 then in the face, so that doesn't work. That does not work because of queen c3. Again, we're down a lot of material, so we need to get more back than what we are down. This is important to know about tactics. Okay, a lot of the time you want to end up with more than you had. Otherwise, what's the... Okay, I mean, obviously, if you're losing terribly, sometimes you just want to get to equal. Fine, because then you're draw. That would be perfect. But most of those tactics would actually be a forced draw if you are trying to draw. Here, if we just get to an equal position in the end, then of course anybody can still play for it, which wouldn't be a tactic. So here we have to look for something more. I still suspect that there should be something. Yeah, bishop, yeah, and if he goes rook, then we just play rook takes b6, don't we? Because then we just threaten a discovered check. You see, this is much more... This looks much more accurate, doesn't it? Now, does he have any intermezzos? I don't really think so. Can't play rook there because of rook c1. No, he can't play there because of the queen, of course. Can't take check. So yes, exactly. You see, bishop f4 doesn't work. I'm pretty sure bishop f4 doesn't work. It's not enough. Yeah, okay, but again, you're not concretely winning, Daniel. You know, after bishop f4, rook takes, everything takes everything. Okay, it's not a complete concrete win. Where bishop a5, b6, rook takes b6, like in the face says there. I mean, what are you gonna do? I'm threatening a discovered check, which is mate. This is double check, and the king can't get out. I mean, how are you stopping that from happening? Yeah. Thank you. So the initial move is correct. Rook takes b6. It's a killer shot. Perfect. There we go. And that's correct. Bishop f4 is not correct. Thank you. And this is I somehow, you know, I know that bishop f4 is not correct because I can see that you're not going to win enough material to make it correct. Okay, let's continue. Next. Ooh, that looks like a... Is there like a zugzwang mate position here somewhere, maybe? Feels like there's a zugzwang here somewhere. Maybe not. Is there any other mates? Obviously, we have to try and mate on H. Ugh, crud. Just hold on, guys. I'll be right back. And no, it was not SWAT. We don't have crap like that in this country, so it's okay. Yeah, Puppy wants to go outside. No, Puppy, you stay here. Yes, you stay here. Good boy. Okay, I see what you're going for. Yeah, but it doesn't... Yes, exactly. It doesn't... Does it? Are you sure it doesn't work? It's a cute idea. I like the idea. Why does it not work? What's he gonna do about it? Oh, he can maybe go for f2. Hey, to attack f2. Rook a8. Yes, because now he has to go rook h6. You see, so it's all about the tempo. I was also looking at rook a8 to give yourself the extra tempo, because now with the rook on h6, now it works. Yes. So look what he says, guys. He wants to go rook a1, rook g1, rook g3, and rook takes h3 mate. And if the pawn takes, it's pawn takes mate. But It doesn't work immediately because if you go rook a1, then rook b7, and rook g3 runs into rook b2. Now if you go f, but it still works, does it not? Oh no, then if you go f, then he goes rook takes f2 check, which is a problem. But by playing rook a8 first, he has to play rook h6, and now you can do the same variation because now the rook has to take one more move to get there. Okay, so let's show you guys. So rook a8, now he has to go rook h6, and now you can go for the idea of mate. Rook a1, rook comes out, rook g1, and you have that extra tempo. Rook g3, and of course mate follows. Okay, there you go. Perfect. So that's why I was also looking at rook a1 for a8 first, because I figured that, you know, we need to get a tempo somewhere. So very nice puzzle there. So it's a nice little mating net that you see that black gives himself. Okay. Okay, I still have some time, about 15 minutes. So let's see if we can get 2600. Okay, so there's a stalemate idea maybe? No? Yes, maybe? No? So check. Rook takes check, and then b5 is the idea, and then rook d4. So the idea here is check b5, rook d4, threatening mate on a4 with b4 if the pawn takes. No, then the king can take. So so it's not mate yet. But something like that will happen. I know this for sure. Okay. So rook takes b7, b5, king. Is that enough? King c6? But it's not mate though, is it? Interesting. Okay, yeah, of course there is king c6, you are correct. The same idea with the mate threat of rook takes a7. Clever. Maybe we get an extra tempo out of the deal here then. Yes. Okay, did you see it? Oh no, it is not, maybe. No, maybe you're right. Yeah, king c6, yes. No, but Walid, you give up too quickly on your ideas. What does he play if you play king c6, okay? No, but first, what do you play first? Okay, so king c6 now, what does he play? He first has to find a move. What's the only move here? Looks like king a6 maybe? And also a6. Now, if he plays a6, then rook check. If b5, rook d4 with the idea of rook a4 and b4 mate. Okay, perfect. But what if he plays king a6 again? That is the more entertaining question. If he plays king a6, so king c6, king a6. That is the more appropriate question. Any queens? Let's say, you know, if we queen. No, but if you go b, okay, wait. The king protects still. Hey, yes, you're right. Is there anything he can do about it? So if king a6, yes, because now the king defends the b5 square. So b4 goes there, checkmate. Yep, sounds about right. No, he's correct. Yes, correct. Very good. So you just have to find the right variation, Walid. Your idea was correct. King c6 threatens mate. Okay, so he has to deal with it. Again, if a6 happens, then we have the idea of rook takes d4, d5, I mean, then b5, then rook d4 with rook a4, and after pawn takes, we play b4 and it's mate. Okay? Now, if king a6, as Inzerface puts out, if king a6 gets played, then you just play b4 and b5 check with with rook takes a7 mate. Very nice, very nice. So it's all about creating the mating net. So in this variation, we just play b4, and of course, okay, continue. What now? See if anybody can spot the move. Of course, he has the b5 idea as well. Come on, children. A4, and if pawn takes. Now you have to be accurate. If pawn takes. Yes, okay, and if pawn takes, then what? Because now your other variation doesn't work anymore, of course, because the king can run to b4. So if a4, pawn takes, b5 check, king a5, rook takes, then king b4. So we have a runner. No, it's still, that doesn't work. It's not mate. It's not mate. It's not mate. It's not mate. It's not mate, guys. It's not mate anymore. You are careful. So you guys are looking at the wrong variation, because this is why this variation gets played, because you can change the variation. So your idea doesn't work anymore. Does not work anymore. So find a different variation. Now it's all about trapping the king on a different square. So the king needs to stay on a6. So the variation is a4 after pawn takes, rook takes d5 with rook a5 and then b5. Check it out. a4, rook takes, clever. Now check and mate. You see, so you have to change your variation. You guys have to be careful. You're so involved in the specific variation that you had planned that you forget that changes because of your pawn on a3 not protecting b4 anymore. Okay, so there we had to change and come back to the original idea that we had with the rook d5 check and rook check and mate ideas. So it's a really nice puzzle, actually, that one. But of course, everything starts with king c6. So very well spotted, very nicely done. Let's move on. Still have a little bit of time for about 2 or 3 more. Let's hope. Black's king looks quite dodgy. Material wise, it's no, white is up a pawn already. Now we do have a lot of attackers on the square e6, but I do feel like there could be a mate as well here if we are very clever about this. Is it just mate? Rook takes e6. So rook takes e6, if bishop takes e6, then rook takes e6, if knight takes e6, then knight takes d5, checkmate. And if knight takes, then knight takes d5. So quite a clever one. It's all about seeing the mating pattern here. Rook takes, and of course, we just have to cover the white square, the dark squares, and it's mate. Quite a pretty little puzzle. These kind of things, you know, if you've done a lot of mates, then it's easy to see this pattern, okay? Why? Because g6 and f7 is covered by the bishop, okay? The g5 and e5 pawns that are covered by pawns. So now all you have to do is just cover the rest of the squares. Now the e6 square is covered by his own piece in the end, and of course the knight does the rest of the job. Okay, see another one. Ooh. Now this one again, I mean, things jump out here. You know, you want to see that the king is trapped, of course. So we want to just trap that king even more. Can we do that? What, in real life, or, you know, just in general? Well, on here, I mean, my blitz rating is now 2200 as well. It's actually the highest it's been. But I have been working in the face. You know, literally, I mean, doing stuff like this, you know, obviously doing a show where you're, you know, just getting every puzzle correct, it really helps your chess. That's why people keep on asking, what should I do to improve my chess? Tactics, guys. Really, it really does do wonders for your chess. But of course, I'm doing a lot of middle game work as well right now. So, in the face, 3 years ago, my rating was 2100. So, but I'm pretty sure that if I had to play proper now, that it would be quite a bit higher than that. I would say about 2300 if I have to play over the board chess. Walid, f5 looks a little slow. It just looks a little slow. I wanna make it faster. But okay, I mean, f5 is obviously a move. What's the material count look like? We are down a bunch of pawns, yeah? Yeah. Okay, so we obviously want to try and get a lot of material back out of this. We don't have to do anything, by the way. Right now, we don't have to do anything. I mean, a move like rook h3, perfectly acceptable. With the obvious idea of just playing bishop takes g6 and then taking on h7. With disgusting things to happen to him quickly. He can't play bishop d7 because he gets himself mated. Now, if knight e7 gets played to try and blockade, we just play the obvious rook takes queen takes g7, so that doesn't seem to help him at all. He can't play bishop b7. It's impossible. He could maybe play a6 to stop us from going check on b5, but okay, that idea has gone out the window because we don't care about that move anymore. So rook h3 stands out like a thorn in my side here. I just want to see why, if there's anything you can do about it. Because the point is just he can't castle. As long as we keep him in here, he cannot castle, then he's going to lose material anyway, isn't he? I must admit, f5 does look pretty good too. Yeah, if bishop e7, then we play bishop takes g6, and then what? He's going to have to play f takes g6. And then we can even play rook takes h7 check. Oh, it's not check, sorry. He takes back, we go check, he takes, we take there. Okay, the king can get out, I guess. Which is a bit of a nuisance. Stupid king. Yeah, exactly. The whole idea might be a little slow. Everything looks a little slow. But, again, we do have this beautiful position. You know, we don't have to be quick about anything, do we? I mean, this is the whole point. No, bishop b7, sorry. Bishop b7 runs into bishop b5 in the face. So rook h3, bishop b7, bishop b5, and you're screwed. You just lose your queen. So that's why you can't move the bishop. So you can't move anything, which is why I wanted to play rook h3. Because you can't move anything. You can't move your bishop. You can't move your rook. You can't move any single piece you want to. Nothing can move. How beautiful is that? Like, nothing can move. Walid, I prefer keeping the bishop on the board first. It's very important to keep that bishop on the board because it obviously, as I showed now, it takes away the idea of playing bishop b7. So you can't play bishop b7. So keep the bishop on the board. Rook h3 is a nice quiet move. What does black play? That is my question. He can't move his bishop on c8. He can't move his rook on a8. He can't move his knight. He can't move his other rook. He can move his queen. No, he can't move his queen. So he can't move his queen either. So he can't move a single piece. Now, let's say he plays c4. Okay? For a lack of a better move. So rook h3, c4. Now, bishop takes. Pawn takes. Okay, and then we can play rook takes, or what do we play other than that? Could win the queen back, of course. Just trying to see if we can win enough material to make this plausible. So c4 is the only move that currently annoys me a little bit. Now, I still want to point out that f5 was an option, and f5 is not a bad move either. But I feel that he gets to trade off everything, and maybe he's okay after pawn takes on f5. So, yeah. So rook h3, c4. That is what I'd worry about. Yeah, but you see, in the face, I don't like probably. I like concrete lines, and that's what tactics is all about. It's all about being concrete and making sure that you have the right answer before you even make your first move. Because if you screw it up somewhere in your variation, then the first move is wrong, and you fucking die. I don't want to die, man. Okay, but rook h3 does look beautiful, doesn't it? I mean, he can't play h6, he can't play h5. He literally, the only move I can find is c4. But I'm not convinced of my variation. Not gonna lie, not convinced of my variation. Because he can hide. If I had a mate, I would have been much more interested in my variation. Because in the end, we don't end up... Well, maybe we do get enough material, don't we? Opposite bishops, though, might not be as easy as we would like. Exactly. Thank you, Inzaface. That is the point. We are 3 pawns down. And we do win a couple back, though. We win... Do we... I mean, we probably win even g7, maybe? We do win pawns back, though. Yeah, and then queen d7. Walid, in your variation. After everything, after queen takes f7, then just queen d7 maybe. Should be okay for black. He even has options of maybe castling queenside there. Yeah, we went 2 at least, I know. You see, okay, so in the face, here's what I'm looking at. Rook h3, c4, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes h7, rook takes, queen takes g6, king d7, queen takes h7, threatening on g7, of course, to win the pawn back. Okay, let's say he goes something like, okay, but he can't even defend the pawn, can he? No, he can't. So we are going to win all 3 pawns back as well. And his king is still awkward. Pieces are still really weirdly placed. We're going to get that check. I'm sure, look, I don't see anything better. I fail to see anything better. Okay, it's incorrect. So it's not right. So they must be better. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. If he plays pawn takes... Bishop and then pawn takes, then what do you've got? Got nothing. So no. Valiant effort, but no. Really? Is there anything after that? How do you follow it up? But, okay. Explain. You do realize that the f pawn still defending on e6, right? I don't know. Are you my dad? So we got the last one wrong. Okay. Yes, but there's a pawn defending on e6 in the face. He'll just take you with the pawn. Of course we would have played that variation if there was no pawn. Love it. Love it, guys. Love it. F5. Okay, I mean, F5 is an option. Okay, we've already got the puzzle wrong, so we can make the move. Okay, so F5, but now make sure we get everything right. So F5, pawn takes, bishop takes. Okay, you want to take, queen d7, queen takes, king takes, rook takes f7, king, and then... No, but the king could go backwards, I assume. But yeah, this is not bad. But you... Okay. Maybe now you guys are seeing it wrong now. Okay, now your variation is different. Because what if bishop b7, b5 now? And if bishop d7, then we take on f7. Now we can't protect f7 anymore. How's that for a kicker, boys? So we have to combine our variations. You see what I'm saying? We have to combine the variations that we're looking at. So f5 gets rid of the pawn defending, and it opens up our queen. Now, see, so bishop b5 check now. Okay, so now you can start seeing the variation, and now queen takes f7, f5. Okay, so it was a combination of both ideas. f5 plus the bishop b5 idea of pinning the bishop and pinning the queen. So now what does he do? I mean, how does he stop all the mates now? He's going to have to lose material, and of course his king is still stuck. So yeah. Okay, so that's I'm going to make that the last puzzle for today. Unfortunately, we got that one wrong. But we ended up, what is my current rating? 25, 70 something. I don't know. 25, 76. I can't see it apparently. Oh, let me just read do it. I just want to see why does it not tell me my freaking. It doesn't tell me my rating now. But anyway, okay. So yeah, so it's a cool idea. So f5, and after pawn takes, then bishop check, and then queen takes f5 with a double threat of d7. E6 is there. Queen takes f6 is there. Everything is there. So it's a beautiful puzzle. It really is a nice little setup there. Okay, guys. So that's where we're gonna stop. I'm gonna try and figure out what's going on with my internet. I don't know why it's just tanking the whole time, but well, you know what, Walid, I mean, you know, and this is why I like doing this show as well. You know, like I want to try and do something like this at least every day for an hour. Okay, just do tactics and explain what we're looking at, because this helps you calculate better. It helps you to obviously learn the tactics a bit better. It helps you to just learn all kinds of and it helps you to really take your time with positions. Because a lot of the time you'll get a position where you're winning, you know you're winning, but you can't find the concrete variation to make it work. And a lot of the time it's there. It's just that we, you know, obviously time pressure, stuff like that really becomes an issue for us. Okay. But I'm happy that I fixed the chat problem now, because now I can see the chat and I'm still on the same screen, which is really great. So obviously just need to figure out how to deal with a stupid internet. If I could upgrade even more, I would, but yeah, it's like I say, it's expensive. I mean, for me to upgrade to a 6 meg line with a 6 meg upload speed as well is $200 a month. I mean, it's disgusting. We are dying in this country when it comes to this kind of crap. But anyway, okay, so cool, guys. I will see you guys in an hour. I am gonna do something new, a little bit of a show called Anger Management. So definitely come and pop in for that. Starting in, well, a little less than an hour. Okay, probably be playing for about 2 hours. We'll be doing more blitz and bullet stuff and getting angry. Okay, guys, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys soon.